Hi everyone, welcome to Light and Beyond with Uday. In this video, we are going to talk about @maps ID. So you are might thinking what exactly @maps ID does. So let me explain at the high level. So as you know that we have employee and ID card table. Inside the ID card table, we have multiple columns, but we have one primary key and one foreign key. So primary key is the ID and foreign key is the employee ID. Now, as we know that there is one-to-one relationship between employee and the ID card. So why do we require this extra foreign key? Why can't we use this ID as a primary key as well as the foreign key? Right? So that's what we are going to achieve using @maps ID annotation. So we will ending up like this. If you see the right hand side chart, so if you can see ID card, so now we have only one column ID that will be treated as a primary key and the foreign key. So this is our agenda. So let's begin. So as of now, we don't have the @maps ID in place. So our table structure basically looks like this. So if we see employee has ID, which is a foreign key, and it has typical columns such as first name, last name. But our main focus in this video is the ID card. So if we focus on ID card, we have ID as a primary key and employee ID as a foreign key. And we want to achieve something like this. ID will be our primary key as well as the foreign key. So how can we do that? But before we do that, let's go to our database and see the table situation. So let me refresh and let me go to our Spring Boot practical database and let me open the tables. So employee, as we know, we have typical columns: ID, email, first name, last name, and salary. But our main focus is the ID card table. So if you can see now, we have ID, which is our foreign key. ID, which is our primary key, and we have employee ID column, which is our foreign key. We can verify the same if we expand this. Okay. So if I click on this primary is my column ID. And if I click on this foreign key, okay, so foreign key, if you can see employee underscore ID. All right. So employee underscore ID is my foreign key. So that is the current situation that we can see in the table. All right. And that's what we are seeing on the slide as well. All right. Now our agenda is to achieve this, right? So let's do the code changes for to achieve this, right? So let me go to my IDE and don't worry about this change. This is pretty small change that we are going to do. So as you can see, I'm using this. I have opened this ID card employee. ID card entity, and as you can see, I'm using generated value annotation, which basically generates the primary key, right? So I don't need this now because what I am going to do, if I see my slide, I am going to use employees ID as a primary key as well as the foreign key, meaning this ID card table is going to use employees primary key as a primary key and the foreign key. So if I see the next slide, we are going to use the same ID. So if employee table as a ID column as a primary key, I am going to use same ID column in the ID card table in my child table as a primary key and the foreign key. So basically I am sharing the same key among these two tables. Parent, employee is parent, and ID card is the child. All right. So that is why I don't want to generate a new primary key. So that is why I have removed this at the rate generated value annotation. So I am removing this at the rate generated value annotation because I don't want to generate a new primary key. So I have removed it. One more change I want to do over here is that we need to use at the maps ID. So maps ID basically help us to inform the JPA that hey JPA, please use employees ID column as a primary key and the foreign key. All right. And one more change I'm going to do is I'm going to change my column name. So I'm going to change the column name as ID. All right. So so this is for the primary key. All right. This annotation at the rate ID annotation is for the primary key. So our primary key name is same, right? ID. And our this at the rate join column is for the foreign key. So my foreign key column name is also same. All right, ID. So that is why I have changed name over here as well, because I am going to use same column as a primary key and the foreign key as per the shown in the in this slide. This ID will treated as a primary key and the foreign key. So if I annotate this variable as at the rate ID, this will become primary key. And when I say join column name is equal to ID, this is my foreign key column name. So this is also same, right? So that is why I have changed. And using this at the rate maps ID annotation, I am giving indication to JPA that hey JPA, please use the employees table ID column, the primary column, as a primary column in our ID card table as well as the foreign key. I mean, if we see the slide, employees table, if we see the slide, this ID column, we are going to share with ID card table, and this same ID column which is being used inside the employee entity, that is going to be used inside the ID card as a primary key and the foreign key. So that's what I'm doing, or that's what I'm achieving using at the rate maps ID annotation. So no more theory. Let's drop our existing database. All right. I'm dropping this database. Drop now. And I'm going to start my application. So you can see it has created multiple tables. It has alter tables to add primary key, unique key constraints. Okay. So let's verify by going inside the database. So let me close all this irrelevant tabs, and let me refresh this schemas tab, and you can see this is the newly created database. I'm going to set as default. And if I now see employee table will remain as it is because we haven't made any change inside the employee entity. Instead of that, we have made change inside the ID card because we want to change the ID card table. Hence, we have made changes in the ID card entity. All right. So here is the moment of truth. Let's open the ID card table. Tada! Here is the magic. You can see we don't have any employee ID column anymore. All right, this is, you can see, this is ID card table and it has only ID column. And if I expand this, and if I expand the indexes, if I click on this primary index, you can see this is this ID column is a primary key. Now if I expand this foreign key section and if I click on it, you can see the ID itself is a foreign key, and it shows that sharing this we are sharing this with the employee table. All right, so ID card is foreign key as well as the primary key that we can verify in our table itself. All right, and you can see there is only one column ID, that is primary key and the foreign key. There is no more extra columns which we used to see, such as at the rate underscore, I mean employee underscore ID. So there is no such column anymore. So if we see the slide, earlier we used to have two columns in the ID card table, one primary key and one foreign key. After using at the rate maps ID, now we have one column that is treated as a primary key and the foreign key. And this ID column is being shared with the employee table, meaning employee table has a ID card and that is being shared with the ID card table. Now you might thinking, what will happen to the CRUD operation? Are we still able to same CRUD operation without making any changes in the service layer or the DTO layer or the mapper layer, right? So yeah, of course we can perform the same operation. So let me restart the application once again just to make sure that we are having the latest changes deployed in our server. So our application is up and running. So to verify our changes applied successfully or not, let's perform the CRUD operation. So if I use the get all APIs, I mean get all employees, you can see we don't have any employees or ID card. That is why we are getting empty result. And we can verify the same in our system as well or in our DB as well. So if I refresh this or if I execute this select query, you can see there is no employee, and same goes for the, or I can use this join column that will help me to get both the employee and the ID card. Ah, okay. Let me do one thing. Instead of that, I need to update this query, but let's don't do that. Instead of that, let's use this query itself. So you can see ID card table is empty and the employee table is also empty. Now let's create one user. You can see user is created. If I use get all employees, I should get the employee entity and the ID card, right? I'm getting this as a result. I can verify the same in the DB as well. If I refresh the employee table, you can see data is here. Same goes for the ID card. Data is here. Perfect. Now I can update this as well. Okay. So till now we have, as you can see, till now we have Emma Watson as a user, and this is the details. Now let me update this to Harry Potter, and I'm going to change this date as well. Okay, so let me hit the send. Okay, so if I use this get all employees, you can see till now we have 2026, 2030, and the name is Emma Watson. So if I hit the send button, it is going to be changed. Harry Potter 2031, 2056. All right. So update is also working. Get all employees we are already checking. We can verify the same in the DB as well. You can see 2026, 2030. If I refresh it, it is going to change. You can see 2031, 2046. Same for the employee. First name and the last name going to change. It is changed now. All right. Get all employees we are already using. We can use this get get employee by ID. All right. So you can see Harry Potter 2031, 2046. I can delete this user as well. So let me delete this one. It is deleted. And now if I try to fetch using get all employees, I will get the empty result. All right. This is empty. I can verify the same in the DB as well. No more employee and no more ID card. Let me refresh this. It is gone. So, that's how we can use this at that maps ID. Pretty simple, right? If you have basic code setup for the one-to-one, you can easily implement at the maps ID annotation. But what is the benefit of using at the maps ID annotation? Why we are using it, right? You might have this question in your mind. Why we are using it? So let's see what what happens or what are the cons if we do not use at the rate maps ID. So there are duplicate ID. I mean, there are duplicate IDs. We are managing two IDs, ID and the employee ID. Why we need to do that? There is an extra column, which is employee ID. Weak dependency. They are not, we can manage this dependency among employee and ID card using the same column, which is ID. So dependency is also weak. So we have these three cons: duplicate ID, all right, extra column, which is employee underscore ID, and weak dependency. But what are the benefits? So if we use at the rate maps ID, these are the benefits. No duplicate ID because our ID column is a primary key as well as the foreign key. Cleaner schema. Our schema is pretty clean that we can see in the database itself. Pretty clean, right? There is no employee underscore ID column. So it looks pretty clean. You can see over here. Then strong one-to-one relationship because there is only one column that is treated as a primary key and the foreign key. Child fully depends on the parent. This also shows that without employee ID card cannot exist. So it shows that child is fully depends on parent. So yeah, these are the few benefits of using other maps ID. I hope you have learned something new today. If you find my video useful, then please like, share, subscribe, comment. See you in the next video. Bye.